Oh, good Lord. My face should be on there. Let's see if we can fix it. Oh, nope. It's coming in. Look at that. That looks pretty good. We're going to take a second here. Maybe this link is not super great. Yeah, it just totally kicked me out there. Well, that's fun. Anyways, if you could see me, you would know that this is Rafa Esparza, but I think we will replace that wire here in just a second. I hope that you guys are having a good day. I was off to a pretty good day, and then I saw this. There we go. I saw that happening, got weird. It showed me there for a second and then just started disappearing. We are in the process of watching UFC BJJ. I'm glad if you're joining us right now. It's looking pretty inevitable that Renato Canuto is going to be able to pull this one off against Alan Sanchez, who's been a pretty game competitor for him. The only issue is that Canuto has a unrelenting pace that has been too much for Alan Sanchez's chill vibe to be able to pull off a win here. So it's tough. I like both these guys a lot. They're friends of the show. And you know what's been wild? I can't tell what's more absurd. The comments in the YouTube section or the commentary for the actual UFC BJJ. The commentary for the actual UFC BJJ has been pretty bad. It's been very awkward. At one point, they were starting to criticize the fact that Andy Varela was not getting a submission because he was stunting on them hoes, one might say, and he was posing to the camera and he was making a thing of it. And the hard part for me is that, sure, yeah, you could want a submission to happen. You could want more things to take place, but Andy Varela was trying to give you the best bang for your buck. And as a result of that, seeing them just kind of go off on him, it's kind of weird because not only did he break a man's finger and then ended up getting a submission, and then they just kind of downplayed it. They're like, fine, I guess. About a match ago, though, we saw Dorian Oliveras have a very good test against the guy, and that was an interesting matchup because for the very first round, Dorian was in some real big trouble. The leg attacks, the knee bars, the heel hook attempts. Nagai put up a really, really good fight in the first round. The next two rounds, though, were all Dorian all the time. So we've been at a place here. Oh, God, did he just close? He did a Mr. Miyagi attack the nose? Good Lord, I didn't even see that one. So what we're at right now with UFC BJJ is a weird place. Like, it definitely is exciting. It's entertaining. When it works, it works. When you've got Landon Elmore, your money, dude, you are looking at some really tonight. Mir and Rainick was okay. It went the distance, so there was that. Yeah, I saw a like happening there. If you would be so kind, I'd love a like, a comment, a subscribe wherever you're watching. It does mean a lot. And Canuto gets an interview. Surprise, surprise. Some people have not gotten interviews. I think Dorian thought he was going to get an interview, and then they were just like, nah, fam, you went the distance. But Canuto goes the distance. He gets an interview, and he said definitely he knew it would be a clash of styles. And, you know, I think he just knew he would be able to impose his game. So far, who has impressed you the most tonight at UFC BJJ? I ask you that. Please put that in the comment section if you would be so kind. Again, if you're new to this show, my name is Rafa Esparza. I host a show called The Grappling Hour. I also host a show called The Bullpen with my good friend Tim Freeman, which we will be doing tomorrow. And we'll obviously be talking about some of the biggest moments from tonight's big night for UFC BJJ. So there is that and much, much more. So I appreciate you guys for tuning in with us. I'm going to try and make it entertaining. We've got a few matches left to go, but I was en route making my way back here, so there is some stuff I'm going to catch up on. So I think I'm going to hang for a little bit longer after this thing comes to a close and rewatch some of those with you guys, if you would be so kind. I don't think you have somewhere to go. I'm going to be honest. It's a Thursday night. I think they plan these things very well. If you're on an East Coast time zone, you might as well give up the fact that you're not going to get any sleep. So there is that. But my thanks to you for joining us. But again, I'm looking to see who it looks. I see a note that says LA sucks. Screw you. Oh, that's so sad. Okay, well, I can't hear you in Perpetual Champion. And then Real 3 OD says, okay. Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. Having said that, we did ask a question, and we were trying to figure out what it is that you guys liked best. Was it Landon Elmore? Was it Canuto's performance? Was it there? Was it Andy Varela a little bit earlier? What has impressed you thus far in? And Frank Mir's daughter got the win over Willink, and it was, I mean, she had a very good show. She looked really great. And when they asked her what they wanted to do in the future, she basically said, I mean, I'd love to go for a title, but that title belongs to Raquel Canuto. And with some good thought process behind that, because if you train with them, yeah, I think you want to see her go out there and smash. But it was very respectful, very cool of her to do. And I do appreciate people coming in and saying that as such. I see JD Mike, what's up? Good to see you. See some friends in the chat. I think I saw Ben out that way. You guys are all making this worth it and fun to do on a Thursday night. But we do have some things to talk about here. We do have a couple matches left. We do have Andrew Tackett. Very excited for him against Elijah Dorsey, another friend of the show. And it says, I'm the only one who's watching your live stream right now. Well, that's on one place. It is streaming at multiple places. So unless you're missing some other areas, we do have other people watching. But thank you for trying to be a Debbie Downer, invalid as it may be. Having said that, though, very excited, as I mentioned. So there's that. Then you also have the brother Tackett. So you've got William Tackett himself, who's going to be doing some work tonight as well. And if you really think about it, William really is the kind of show pony that really was saying, like, get me in here, let me show you what I can do in UFC BJJ, and has been a racehorse for this organization. He's been very, very defensive. He's been on the PR machine trying to make sure that's it and talking about them. It says, I'm only one here on YouTube. You know what? That's so great. And that means you're special, which is the attention that you want. For example, how do other comments happen if you're the only one watching? Like this, Egghead Warrior, who, by the way, has a new show. If you guys aren't listening to it, if you want inside information for this upcoming season for the PGF, you're going to watch Egghead Jiu-Jitsu. Throughout this season, we want to get him some more subscribers, because if anybody's going to go out of their way to give you the best bang for your buck, it's probably going to be Egg. Our show is better. Let's just be clear. But, like, Egg's going to work the hardest. I think that's a fair assessment. So, thank you, Egg. Appreciate you, sir. Pulling this up over here, it says, this is from Joe Barron, that says, I'd submit everybody in the chat. Remarkable. Amazing. Somebody asked a question. This is a good one. Have you watched DreamWorks and Aardman Flushed Away? I have not. I don't. Maybe if I have, it's been a minute. I believe Hugh Jackman was in that one. Why do you bring that up? Let's see here. A note that says, Relentless Jiu-Jitsu Panda Raf. Thank you. Hello, Relentless Jiu-Jitsu Panda. Appreciate that. It says, someone else is here now. Well, by the comments that are coming in, more than just one or two people. I see a note here that says, any other qualifiers for PGF in California soon? I think it's just this one, dude. I think the next one coming up is Vegas, and I want to say that's next Saturday. I feel like we're the 13th, Vegas is the 20th, and I think that's being sponsored by the New Hope King. So go to that one. Says, oh, good Lord, that's a lot of text that I need to somehow make a little bit bigger here. Eek. I'll just read up. It says, yo, what's up, bro? Big fan. Love the stream. My dad walked in on me giving my homie some sloppy now, so I'm watching this on McDonald's Wi-Fi. Have a good night. Thank you very much for that. I'm glad you took the extra commitment to that. And it says, I'll take that comparison. No, that's fair. I think that's it. And it says, also, thanks for saying I'm special. Of course, that's what I'm here for. And it says, I give you... Okay. You know what? No. Thank you, though. Very kind of you to offer. We have the weirdest fans. And it says, I'd wristlock that fool that said he'd submit me. I mean, I would pay to see it, but we got bigger things in our horizons, Egg. We are trying to get you the match against Moneyberg, and you cannot let us down on that one. So this is interesting. This next match coming up is supposed to be the coronation of, I believe this is the Raquel Canuto match. And we have been waiting for her. Oh, no, this is not Canuto. My apologies. I got to check my schedule here. Very quickly did I have time to process for this one today. And this is one of the other matches. It's the one in between. And it says, have a nice, good, kind, soft, dreaming, sleepy, cute, love night. I had to type it all, by the way. Okay, thank you. That was true commitment. And you know what? While I'm here, I should fix the type on this for what. Oh, God. Yeah. Eek. Let me see if I can adjust this on the fly. Wabam. It's pretty funny, by the way. I think that's okay. Although your picture's still too big. I know if I do that. Aha. See, guys, production. This is what we can do in a very quick amount of time. I'm going to give a shout out to my boy, Jordan Moore, who sent me a note that I have not been able to get back to because I am on air. I will see you a little bit later, Jordan. I hope you're having a good night. Jordan was trying to say he has elite ball knowledge, and I'm going to have to go back and double check that is the case. We don't just give dope ball notice to just friends of the show. We'll say that one. But thank you again, Jordan, for your question about the PGF qualifiers. Very excited for that one happening. This is the Mayssa Bastos match. Okay. Took me a second here to get reacclimated to what's happening, but we are good. And this is by Tubby Alequin. So this should actually be a very good match. I did forget this one was happening, so my apologies. I will tell you this. I knew this was a stacked card, but they have been leaning so much on some of the other performers. I did have a moment where I thought, oh, wait, is that still happening? And not to be outdone, Who's Number One had a big show last week. It has been a very busy time. So Tubby can get the chubby is what somebody said in the YouTube chat. Not ours, the YouTube chat. This is the caliber of folk we are hoping to win over, by the way. And I have to also mention here, I am so tired of these ice commercials. They can go suck it. Lorax needs a queen. Good Lord. The collective brain power of some of the YouTube comments for this UFC BJJ broadcast do lower our overall intelligence quota. And I can tell you right now, the YouTube stream is actually faster than the UFC Fight Pass stream. Somebody explained that to me. I'm not quite sure why. And I thought we were up to date on the latest web browser, but here we go. We're off to the races. I'll start off from the YouTube broadcast that I got here. And it says, what were your thoughts on the Luke Griffith win and the extra squeeze on that jaw? So I was a fan of the win. And by the way, things are rapidly going in the Bastos and Alequin match. So I might need to take a second to give that some consideration here. Mayssa Bastos was basically trying to make it so that by the time I'd answer your question, it would have already been done. Tubby survived a series of attacks that was all chained together. It looked like at one point there was going to be a slicer. Look for an inversion, kiss of the dragon, everything. Doesn't quite have it. Pushes off her. Now Tubby's still looking to pass. Okay, I'll come back to your question. What were your thoughts on Luke Griffin and the win and the extra squeeze on that jaw? I was happy for the win because we needed something new in that division, and definitely is pretty good. The second part of it is the extra squeeze on that jaw. It did feel like Luke Griffith was holding it for a little while longer. Couldn't tell you why. It's not my place to Guess why? I mean, you could definitely guess a few reasons why, right? I thought it was a little gratuitous, but they did pull him off. And I didn't think Pena looked great after that. I think that made him out to be a sore loser. Whether it was intentional to do that to throw him off his game, I think it's hard to look cool when you lose the match fairly and then complain about it. So it's kind of a bummer. Didn't really want to see that happen in that way. But I do think we should be able to put an exclamation mark on Felipe Pena and Gordon. And Gordon has tried to close the door by saying, I think he won twice by making him quit or whatever. All I can tell you is this. Back in 2016, that was an incredibly interesting match. I think it set the tone for Gordon Ryan in the future, and it was important to the history of the sport. Yeah, I see this. It was definitely intentional. See, but here's the thing. They are masters of strategy over there. So I can't tell if they just said like, hey, if you do get something like that, hold it for a second. Or if it's Luke Griffith just caught up in the moment and like in pro wrestling when they hold a finish for longer than they're supposed to, you're being the bad guy. It was just wild that the dude who was being the bad guy then ended up looking like more of the audience favorite just by the way that Felipe was conducting himself. So it, it might have been set up to fail there. And it says, are the comments talking about the story of Pokey Puppy? No, thank God. There's another one that says Rubbin' Tub, so there's that. And it says, bro, Tubby has been in danger every entry. Bastos is crazy dangerous. That's like one good comment for every 20 stupid comments in this section, by the way. And yes, I would agree. Bastos is like going overtime. She is already in on a number of different entries. And I need to change where the closed captioning is because it's over the time. I think, yeah, there's about less than a minute in round number 1 left to go. But Bastos has been all over it. So very exciting about that. Where did you last go on your vacation? This sounds like stuff that's designed to get you to learn my password or something. You know what I mean? Like, where's your last vacation? If you ask me the name of my pet and the street I grew up on, I'm probably not going to answer those. Thank you for the question. Appreciate that. Do you actually know somebody that likes Pena, though? In this day and age? That's a fair question. I guess the real thing that I have to say about the Pena situation is, for a time we kind of needed him because he was a good threat to Gordon. And obviously Gordon eclipses him, goes further than him, and what are you going to do? So in that particular case, it is kind of disappointing. What was the name of your first pet? Damn, beat me to it. I'm telling you, man, it's street you grew up on, name of your first pet. Sometimes these AI, they get really, really creative in how they're joining you on these broadcasts, but do what it need to do sometimes. Shout out Relentless Jiu-Jitsu Panda. Shout out SoCal Teddy, a friend of mine who I competed against back in the day. SoCal, I hope you're good. Grappler's Life 10P, what's up? We are in the process of watching UFC BJJ 4. A good first match for Bastos. Tubby is in some danger throughout a number of these different exchanges. We'll see if she's able to make any adjustments in this second round. We were saying this a little bit earlier, though. I thought the commentary was atrocious, and I'm so much happier to be with you guys tonight. That commentary is making me not want to watch this. And it's strange because I'm a big fan of this stuff. Like, I want it to succeed. It again, just getting, Bastos looked for an armbar from guard. It's just really aggressive and nasty. Just really impressive what she's doing here. I think now she's using some leverage on the leg to wrestle back up. She's not quite past guard. Strike that. Almost past guard. But man, Tubby did a great post on her face to keep her from advancing. So intriguing back and forth happening there. And of course, you are now starting to see scissor emojis. So there was that. It says, I'm going to go listen to music and play a game, the Sky Game, Music app, Spotify, and bye. I'm also going to see if you answer to this. Well, I did. So you're welcome. Need to check the coach for knives in Mayssa's corner. Sure. Yes, that's a very nice thing to say. Oh my goodness. All right, back up on the pass attempt here for Bastos. Good shoulder pressure. She's cupping the back with her right arm, left arm starting to give some space. It says, commentary is so bad. Can we actually get jiu-jitsu guys to commentate, please? More personality in a gray crayon. For sure. Now, here's, I guess, where the difference is. I don't mind them for a product that's supposed to be very slick like this to give you important information. It just feels so cringe because they do know what they're talking about. It can't decide if it wants to be light and funny or if it wants to bitch about people having personality. And especially when Varella's out there and he is entertaining. And they're just like, man, this dude, he can't get a submission. You go, I think he just did right now. I see this note. Jerkboy Casey, I'm Curtis if you don't remember me. Hello, welcome back. Good to see you. I hope you're having a good UFC BJJ fortnight. And it says, okay, thank you. Now I shall leave. Until we meet again. Maybe I'll come every day. Okay, bye. Awesome. I hope you do come back. We have broadcasts all the time. We have a live broadcast happening tomorrow, somewhere in the 1 p.m. Pacific. And it says, I know some good commentary, guys. No shit. This is, I don't know, man. It's kind of wild. And it says, YouTube changed from names to handles. And now, I see. Well, thank you for telling me, because we have a lot of people who sometimes do not tell me that and then get mad at me if I don't recognize them immediately. And I'm like, my brain is getting older and slower. I subscribed and liked, by the way. Well, thank you for that. I I actually have a hat I can tip of that. And it says, where's the GOAT BMAC when you need him? UFC, pay the man. I mean, that's fine. You could pay me a more affordable rate than BMAC, though. If you really think about it, pay me the Mexican rate to BMAC's rate. I'm there. Because at the very least, I can do the play-by-play entries and set up these other people for success. I couldn't quite tell who was bitching about Andy. That was the only thing that was throwing me. Because if it's Mike Chiasa, like, sure. But it felt awkward. I couldn't even tell. Like, there's no difference in their voices, honestly. There's a note in the YouTube chat. It says, wow, these commentators suck. I agree. And it says, so now everyone can see when the handle I used when I was 12. Well, yeah. I mean, I'm glad you can't see what Instagram I had when I was 12. Also, it didn't exist when I was 12, but if it did, yikes. I think one time I created a alias named Max, and I added Maul because I really like Darth Maul, and I was like, what is this? Like, why did I do that? You might ask yourself, why Max? I don't know too many Mexicans named Max. I did meet one. He's very, very funny, and I like him a lot. But I once scored a goal in high school, and they attributed it to a gentleman by the name of Max Esparza. And I was like, who is Max Esparza? And how'd you get Max? Even with my full name, Raquel, like, where the fuck is that coming from? So the big joke was, at the time, I would go by an alias of Max here and there, and people would get a good laugh out of it. They're like, who did that? I was like, I guess Max fucked up today. Yikes. Just for the record, we're going to say that in the YouTube, I see there's currently 18,000 people right now. We'll also look at what I can see on the UFC. I thought on UFC they had almost about 6,000 people watching at one point. Al Gore hadn't invented the internet when we were 12. Absolutely. He really should have gotten on that faster. Max Maul sounds like a comic book character. That's what I'm saying. I thought it was a great freaking name. I thought that I was in it to win it. He said, "You're 25." Well, God bless. Enjoy that. I have some friends that I teach and some students. They are 25 as well. It is a wild time to be 25. Oh, boy. All right. Let's see what's happening here. I'm getting more commercials. Don't need that. I still get, I can't tell if I get commercials on the UFC Fight Pass feed, but it is behind. So it's a mix. Somehow the YouTube one with the commercials is faster than the one on UFC Fight Pass, which I pay for. And I feel like that should be faster. But I digress. That's pretty funny. Rob Thomas and Murilo Santana played that song Smooth. I don't know what the context of that is, but I find it very funny. All right. This is the third and final round between Mayssa Bastos and Tubby Alequin. And honestly, Tubby's got a lot to do to make up for some ground if she wants to pick up the win. I do see a note here that says boring in the YouTube chat of this UFC BJJ broadcast, which is kind of sad. And it said, haha, yeah, he pulled a knife at ADCC trials. Yeah, it so escapes me. Like, I still don't know how you can fail up in this sport. Like, I feel like there should be more shame in if you've pulled a knife on somebody. I feel like you should have more things blocked against you. Is what it is. I also see a note here that says, dude, loving the Sora stuff. I've noticed. Egg, I definitely have noticed that one. It says, I had a 3-legger on this card earlier. Mir plus Canuto plus Varela. It's a good wager. I do like that. Very smart of you. I don't know how I feel about betting on jiu-jitsu. I think it's important to give us more... how do I put this? More intrigue from civilians. But having said that, I do look at a transaction like that and I go, yeah, that makes perfect sense. If you would try to get me to bet on it, though, I'd be like, oh, no, we know all those people. That's a bad choice. And it says, last time I was here, I lost a bet on Jacob Couch. Well, there's a number of different ways that could have gone, so I hope you're okay. 2 minutes, 23 seconds. Pretty much the same match that you've been watching from minute 1 to minute 12, essentially. Although Tubby looked like she was about to throw some hands right there. It says, if you pull a knife, you're doing hard time in my court. I would think so. Like, it's so stupid to me. This is the Wild West of everything these days. Sometimes I feel like telling my students, there are consequences to your actions. And then I see people getting pardoned on a regular basis. And I go, you know what? Maybe there's not. Do what you want. All right. Bastos, once again, looking to attack the leg. Nothing doing. 1:30 left to play. And it says maybe just fantasy before pure gambling. Yeah. I don't know, man. I feel like other sports have gambling in such a intense way that it does help. Like, I feel like fantasy did help football a long time ago, but I feel like there's just such an appetite that people want to throw $20 parlays on the dumbest shit. No offense here, by the way, jiu-jitsu, or I'm sorry, jerk boy. Casey. There we go. I was like, wait, give me a second to figure out that full name. I almost was going to say Jerky Boy, because if you were a young child in the 90s, which you were not, Jerk Boy Casey, you would know there was a comedy duo called the Jerky Boys. You know what they did? They made prank calls. Do you know what that is? When you would pretend to call somebody as somebody else, or you would call somebody as somebody else, and you would hope they would pick up the phone, and then you would just lie to them or play a prank on them. Now with caller ID, not really a great bit. And it says, I'm pretty sure Santana is still banned from all ADCC events. Yeah, but does that matter? Like, this is more telecast than a UFC. I'm sorry, than ADCC, honestly. It says, I am the law. I mean, judge, jury, and execution. Bastos was looking for a guillotine, fallback, doesn't get it. They shake hands. We're likely going to see Bastos pick up the decision win. So there is that. It says, of course, no one answers the phone anymore. Yeah, but even when you could do that sort of stuff, I don't remember really prank calling people. Now, I do impressions, so I could kind of get away with some stuff. But the thought of being a dick to somebody in that way just never appealed to me. Anyway, Jerky Boys were apparently like the premier comedy aside from Beavis and Butthead in like the mid-90s. So that's how quaint things were, guys. How fast the things change. And it says with caller ID and all. Exactly. Caller ID and all. Which really should just be the name of my second memoir. Caller ID and all. The Raph Esparza's story. The college years. Yeah, I don't know. I wanted that match to be more exciting, and it's not for lack of effort by Bastos. It falls weirdly into the realm of UFC BJJ. That's nice. They're about to make the announcement, and we are going to see in 3, 2, 1 a winner. Shaolin's about to lift up an arm, and of course it was Bastos. Congratulations to her. I am intrigued if we will see an interview, some shaking of some opponent coach's hands. So this is the push-pull of this whole thing. Oh. No, instead they're just going to show Diego Lopez. Was he on commentary tonight? Or did he just hop in now? That might explain some things if he was on commentary the whole time. But them showing him now at least lets me know that that commentary, if he was on earlier, had a reason for being bad. By the way, I hope you guys do know that UFC BJJ is going to go to the Paramount deal when the UFC changes. There is some rumor right now that Fight Pass may be coming to an end sooner than later, but of course they're not going to do that without some notice. Like, they're still going to try and make money off this shit, so they're going to really milk it for all it's worth. I would assume the earliest they could probably take it down is like in 6 months. One thing that I saw the WWE is doing, instead of shopping around their library, which is vast, you know, we're talking like 40 years of television, they are putting a lot of it on YouTube. And I think that is the future. They can secure future rights and also secure their own YouTube presence, which is where, like, if you were to take a network like NBC or ABC and wonder who does the best ratings in TV, it is currently YouTube. YouTube is the most popular network. It's wild. It does numbers that rival and beat Netflix. And a lot of it is because it is a free, accessible thing to people. The people spend a lot of time watching either short or long form videos, whereas Netflix and other things, you have a paywall behind it. And YouTube does have paywalls, but you can watch a premiere of shit. Let's put it this way. I am watching and they keep giving me ads. So the fact that they keep giving me ads is a good way to remind you there is a version of this that you can watch at all times. So it is a very smart thing. Some shout outs. Grappler's Life, 10P, Miss Grappling, Gorthilla, BJJ. Damn, I would have liked to have seen him be here. CD Flex and Spicy Jits dropped by. Hello, friends. Appreciate y'all for saying what's up. I see Brock Lees, Lando Henny, Mitch E48. I see Alexander Yaria. Hello. I hope all is well. Hit me in the comment section with any kind of questions or thoughts or feelings that you're having. I like that. See this note, and it says, so I was in Montel Jackson in Rio because we go to the same gym, and Diego Lopez got me sushi while I was like 4 wine glasses deep. Crazy. Bro, are you getting crunk off of 4 wine glasses? Let's talk about some life choices here. You are essentially doing subpar housewife numbers for your drinking, and then my man Diego had to show up and save the day with some sushi, which, by the way, never turned down sushi. I'm okay with that. But you know what I mean, man? Like, be careful. Be careful out there. You were lucky. You definitely... You avoided a big one there. You do ask a better question, though. Do both Tacketts win? Seems like they should. I feel like they might. And I feel like they are designed to be show ponies for the organization. They have some good competition, though, so I do like that. I'm happy to see them get Elijah Dorsey, friend of the show. So Tackett versus Dorsey should be a good match. I do feel William will win that. I will say that out loud. And Elijah, if you go back and you watch this, because you are a friend of the show, please understand we still love you. I just think Tackett's a hard pull. Now, Ronaldo Jr., I don't know you as well. So I feel like I can say William Tackett's going to beat you, and we should be okay with that. So yeah, there be that. We got 3 more matches here tonight, and I'm glad you guys have been able to join us for this broadcast. If this is your first time watching a show with us, my name is Rafa Spars. I host a show called The Grappling Hour. I also host another show called The Bullpen. We do bullpens on Fridays, so we'll definitely talk about this tomorrow, but it is a more news-based cable TV show style talking points about big events in jiu-jitsu and MMA. We'll do a live broadcast approximately 1:30 Best Coast time tomorrow, give or take. If you want to show up at 1 to be early, I don't hate it, but we will talk about this. The note here says, I've never heard of Dorsey, but it seems like he's well respected. He is. He is also a ADCC trials winner. So you do want somebody who can do that. Andrew Tackett, a trials winner as well. Those are not easy things to win. So if you have people like that, you at least have somebody in the bank that is willing to go the extra mile. And it says, that's why I didn't bet on either Tackett, bro. Too much hype. I mean, they're really good. I don't know what to tell you. Andrew is the truth right now. Like, he is a very difficult equation to solve. He is a lot of intensity. He's very technical as well. And he's really, really been, like, prepared for this for a long time. William is just classic jiu-jitsu. Super proficient, reads things well, a big student of the game. I think it's a good match. I think both of them still have a likelihood of winning very well. Well, you can't come back and just say they're good now. Felt like you were trying to say something a little bit earlier. Yeah, they're overhyped, but they're good, I guess. What's up, Bailey Jordan? Hey, Bailey, you better come roll. I know the leg isn't fully healed yet, but that's all the more reason to come roll soon. Speaking of people who should come roll, I'm supposed to see Grayson on Saturday. Grayson, if I don't see you rolling on Saturday, we're going to have words, sir. You know that. And then Luis Carlos LeBron, what's up? Thank you guys for joining in on this very, very special episode of the Grappling Hour Watches. It says, Jerky Boy Casey, you just changed. Betting wise, I just couldn't do it. That's fine. I got no problem with that. And it says, not betting on either Tackett, fair, but definitely don't bet against them. Yeah, I mean, you played this right tonight. You already had a parlay that worked, and those were good matches. You felt like those three people were going to win. What if I just did the rest of the show like this? Maybe that's something I should look into. Just literally staring like this. It would cover my eye line for most of it, so that way you can't tell I'm looking down at that one. Oh, I might look at that one, though. Yeah, I have two monitors. I have one up here, and I have one on my phone. And the one on my phone is the YouTube one. The one up here is my UFC Fight Pass one. And part of the reason why I have the one on my phone is due to the fact... Oh, boy. That's a chat summary. Due to the fact that I don't want to miss some of these incredible moments in the chat. And by that, I mean incredible fails. The AI summary was trying to bring me up to the speed, and I actually took a screenshot of what the AI summary said of the YouTube chat, like giving you a summary of what was being said on YouTube. Here is what it says. Chat summary. Viewers in the chat are commenting on fighters' appearance, walkout song, and potential fighting skills. Some viewers are making suggestive remarks, while others are discussing fight predictions and personal preferences. Do you love how stupid that AI chat is? You could not be watching this and you would probably make the same prediction and would be as accurate as AI is it. For now. In the future, I'm sure they'll figure it out. All right. Prediction for the ladies. Seems like it's Canuto's to lose. Incredible fails. That hurts, sir. I don't even remember what I called incredible fails other than this. Oh, are you saying for Sora and all that stuff? I mean, I don't know, man. It takes me a second to see a commercial with your face on it, though. That's not your face. So we always have a minute that I got to reset and be like, Egg doesn't talk like that. And I feel like your voice is something AI should be able to replicate easier. But you prove to be a struggle for AI. Would have never guessed that. All right, here we go. Off to a very nice start. I do like presentation. Oh, no, the chat. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's to be expected, though. You know, we kind of know. The chat, not very smart for the UFC. They mean well, but they're dumb. And we have to treat them as they are dumb so that they remember constantly that they are the dumb. That's all. And you know what? I'm going to start flying in these comments. I don't know why they weren't flying in before. And it says, yeah, I've tried multiple times, but they keep making me sound like Jason Anik. I think it's the wildest thing that it keeps guessing that you sound like Jason Anik. So are you just trying to tell it, like, maybe you have to say the alphabet and then maybe it gives it to you? Damn. By the way, that's a pretty solid color tie there, but Laverne knows that she's got to come to play against Canuto. Canuto, heavily the favorite here. You can tell that the UFC desperately wants her to win. And it says, French girl getting busy. I mean, if there's going to be a spoiler, why not? Why not do that? It says, oh shit, the Hamilton Canada 8-ball championship is on TSN. Gotta go, boys. Stay frosty. Hilarious. So yes, there is a French woman against Raquel Canuto, who is holding it down for the US of A. We're in round 1 of 3 potential rounds in this match. It says she's got a posture. I can't tell if that's just a statement or a question that says. It says you say 3 different numbers and move your head from left to right. Well, look at that. Vern being very aggressive. Canuto trying to grab out for that leg. Vern does a great job taking it away from her. Looking to pass while standing up. Canuto playing guard. And Canuto, normally she's kind of the hunter in these games, but it looks like she's got somebody who's willing to go a little extra crazy with her. But yeah, you're used to seeing Canuto almost play top in a very aggressive way, but I think you would forget the fact that she's got a very good guard that is incredibly underrated. Nonetheless, they're at a standstill right now as Canuto looking to drive from underneath her leg. Can't quite free it up right now. And oh my goodness, she does have a triangle. So Vern does have a triangle here. Maybe, just maybe, this is in reference to what Jerkboy Casey has to say here, because good Lord, Vern making a big opportunity here. Canuto in some real trouble. Now she's starting to attack the arm with the triangle there. Yep, I think you are seeing a scrunch on the face of Raquel as now a transition is happening. She might have the arm. Now she's going to be going for a Kimura with the triangle. Oh, that's not looking good for Raquel. I think there might be some very, very sad hybrids. Canuto looked like she was ready to tap even before the move finalized. I think she knows it's the beginning of the end, and I think this angle they have is the one that's capturing the grip on her face, and I think Canuto knows that's about it. She's grabbing the butt, and she's kind of grimacing through it. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, I think Vern's trying not to break her arm, but it's pretty behind her. Yeah, that's got to get the tap right there. Oh, my goodness. Raquel does not want to tap. She is just screaming through it, and a referee is right on top of it. Yeah, that's going to be it. Vern does get it done against Canuto, and I hope her arm is okay, but that is a huge upset here at UFC BJJ 4. That was supposed to be the coronation of Raquel Canuto, and Vern got it done. Well done. Woo! Wow. And it says, wait, it was a Kimura? I thought it was a triangle. It was everything. It was a triangle. It was a Kimura. The Kimura was more the break that was happening that secured it. But because she had the triangle, Canuto was stuck in the position. Once she got to the top, she started taking that triangle, putting it behind her back. And with the arm behind her back, there really wasn't much that Canuto could do. At that point, you're just kind of grimacing through the pain. And once it's firmly behind your back, like once your own arm is behind your back, it is difficult to get up there. And it says, I just looked up and she was tapping. Yeah. Ooh. Who said they fought like purple belts? How dare you? If they truly fought like purple belts, they wouldn't have shown up until 9 p.m. Take that. Did she add a wrist lock too? Like it looked like an American. It looked like she combined all arm locks into one. Wow. Some people in the chat though were wondering like, what was she saying? I don't know. I just think youch was it. Wow. It says Kimura recovery time is worse than a heel hook because it's a spiral fracture. Probably. I'm not a doctor, but thank you in the chat section for letting us know that. Eek. What's up, Chorolenas? Good to see you. Thank you for joining us. Saying hi to some friends real quick while we have some time in between matches. Steven Rosales, thank you very much. Fourth Story Charters and what is that? Shid 921. Hell yeah. Glad to see everybody here in the chat. be sure to say what is up. And oh my goodness, damn, line on Laverne was like plus 285. That's what I'm saying. This was not supposed to happen. This was not supposed to be it. This is your winner. Congratulations. The first ever woman to wear that belt. They're asking, what does it feel like? And she says, oh, I just want to make my name into the story. And not just my name, you know, but the name of Tyron Goncalves, Gario Jiu-Jitsu, French Guiana, and my family, Laverne, my father, Francois, my mother, Catherine, my two brothers. This is not just my name. I did it, guys. I did it. It was not easy. No shit. You mentioned your mom, and this is a question they're asking her, how much of the motivation you had based on her illness. And she just says, I'm, happy I'm going to be able to bring it back to her. For now, it's just amazing. I just want to take the time to enjoy it and be with my family, my friends. And yeah, I'm also going to bring it to my mother. Well, that's a great story. I think that the more important things I can give for her for Christmas, Oh, that's cool. She's getting emotional here, and yeah. And it says, how tight was that Kimura? And she says, I'm so sorry, Raquel. I hope she can recover well. I don't like to hurt people, but it's the fight. And also UFC. I was here to just show that jiu-jitsu is just an amazing martial art. It's all my life now. And so tonight, I showed the world and all of my country friends that with my hand, I can kill people, Jiu-jitsu's just magical. Jesus Christ, if these are accurate transcriptions, it's great to go from like, I don't like to hurt anybody, but I did learn tonight my hands are capable of mass murder. Having said that, jiu-jitsu's magical. Just the back and forth. That progression is comical. It says, purple belts of the world are now grumpy with you. All right. I'd say do something about it, but I know purple belts won't. So, womp womp. I wonder, is women's BJJ similar to women's MMA, where upsets happen more often? I don't know. I think over time, that'll be less and less. Oh my goodness, my apologies. Oh, good Lord. There's Senor Rafael Lovato just giving her all the props, all the love. That's super cool to see. Yeah. We got Shanji giving her props, giving her jacket. I think, no, that's a flag. She's taking some water. She's getting some coconut water specifically. And Lovato escorting her all the way to the back. What a great night for her. And she still looks super surprised. Mikey Musumeci is going to defend the bantamweight title on March 5th on a Thursday for UFC BJJ 6. Okay. It'll be Thursday. We do know that. Stay tuned to UFC social channels for more information. Okay. The question is, are you going to be at the qualifier on Saturday? I will not. I have been hired to be an interviewer for a local MMA organization out here, but I wish them the best. I definitely will be trying to hear all about it, so I'm sure I'll hit you up. But very, very happy to see. I mean, the way that the PGF has already gotten off to a start, and it's not even the calendar year in which we are seeing it, is incredibly exciting. I don't know that I feel like I've had enough time to recover, but here we are. I just love the fact that it feels like more people are getting a shot at it. Now, this is something I want to bring to everybody's attention here. People in the know likely do know this, but I want to make sure that we are particular on the phraseology here. What people are getting from the PGF qualifier experiences are the opportunity to be drafted. So, before we would say like, hey, welcome to the PGF. You did it. Now they have the opportunity to be drafted, which means they'll likely be in on this series. But hard part about draft is, sometimes after week 1, somebody on the injured reserve list happens or an alternate comes in. And as we saw last season, those people could very quickly become the story. So I don't know. And it says, sounds like the non-purple belt is running now. I don't know what that means. But agree that it feels like not enough recovery from last PGF season. Yeah, I still feel slightly hungover from that season. And it says, what do we know about Ronaldo? Well, they have a package for him. You can see he's a black belt from Athos. Very exciting. He recently had a pretty solid match in his last UFC BJJ endeavor. I mean, he's kind of nasty with it. It's a good, interesting matchup for him to have there. We will see if he is able to create some dilemmas for Senor Tackett in this match. But don't forget, he also had a match against Cody Steele, and that is probably one of the more telling ones. So I would I have to figure out the way to say this because Cody is a friend. I mean, I think William Tackett's a little bit better at jiu-jitsu than Cody Steele. Don't tell Cody we said that. They're both homies. Many Men, the walkout music, he's going to win. Yeah. I'm going to reveal something here on the show. I think Many Men is kind of actually overrated. That's just me. I just don't care. I feel 50 Cent is a wonderful troll. I also think he writes rhymes for elementary school, and people really got on board with it, and that's amazing. Production slick, very good. But 50 Cent doesn't hold a place in my heart. I know the lore of if you walk out to Many Men, it's a big thing. It just doesn't do it for me. That's just me. Do what you will with that information, but I'm 3 out of 4 episodes into the P. Diddy documentary produced by 50 Cent, and I do thank him for that. So take the good with the bad. But yeah, Many Men, not great. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm gonna be honest, I thought 50 Cent, no disrespect. It says, whoa, buddy. Sometimes simple is best. Okay, or sometimes simple is just simple and boring. I legitimately thought 50 Cent, and I have to be careful about how we say this in this day and age. I thought he was a little slow in the head. I thought him and Mayssa specifically rode a different type of bus. Take that how you will. Couple bangers. Fun to hear at a club. But when I was looking for lyrically, I'm not going to find them. It's also why I laughed really hard when 50 Cent was hanging upside down during the Super Bowl halftime performance. Because I was like, you know what? This fits. Because he's like the bottom of all of those performers. Mary J. Blige, better. Eminem, better. Snoop, better. Anderson .Paak on drums, better. Dre, better. Everybody better. Everybody had more reason to be there. Literally like, oh, and 50 Cent's here. I'm like, I don't need that. 50 has hits. And he was shot 9 times. What the fuck? Yeah, the production is very good. But you're going to tell me lyrically, I love you like a fat kid loves cake is really a line? Like, that's a bar? my friend, listen. I shouldn't have to explain lyrics to you, but here we are. Also, you're 25. What the fuck are you talking about? You were 2 years old when his first album came out. Not wasting my time. Thank you. Thank you for attending my TED Talk. All right, William Tackett's in the bowl. Here we go. William Tackett, 24. Ronaldo Jr., 29, about the same height. And, good Lord. Weight, etc. exactly on the dot. Apparently, according to this, I don't need another ice commercial. Do they get this on discount? Is this free? The amount of times they are trying to brainwash you with these ice commercials is embarrassing. Which, by the way, the UFC at the White House. Let's talk about that after this match. 50 Cent is a legend. Maybe every bar wasn't hitting, but he made good songs. I agree if your standard is low. And the production is very nice on some of those songs. For example, Hate It or Love It is a good chorus. But everybody else carried the song. It's a good refrain. Cool. Then he told people it was his birthday, or it's your birthday specifically, and let's party. Okay, that's fun. Magic Stick, Candy Shop, same song. PIMP, It was nice that Snoop actually made a thing. It says, I bet your favorite rapper probably has a corny bar or two. Not like 50. Anyway, there's a match going on right now. Looking for a game of mercy. Collar tie over here. Tackett trying to push in. Ronaldo looking pretty strong with his grip. By the way, snap down. Nothing much of it. Now, Ronaldo, I like the way that he moves specifically with his grip, his wrestling grip here. All right. Putting the pressure on the back of the head there. Ooh. Finds the takedown is one young William Tackett. Now working to pass. That looked very impressive. So here's what I want to say about this. This right now. Part of the reason why I do like the Tacketts for UFC BJJ, as opposed to Mikey, the rule set is you are penalized if you don't go for takedowns. So they're trying to incentivize bigger action and that they want people to be exciting in this bowl format. When Mikey does the Karate Kid crane kick bullshit, it's because he can't pull guard. And there's a part of me that's like, that's your franchise player. Man, I kind of root for the Tackett brothers because at the very least, they're trying to give you something, but Ronaldo is in on a neck, and man, that looked really dicey for a split second there for Tackett. William in on a single, his face looking pretty red. Ronaldo holding on for dear life, although Tackett may survive this, find his way over to the side and pass. Now he's going to get put back into guard. I do like this. Fuck it, I'm rooting for Ronaldo. I mean, that's fine too. I got no issue with that. I like both these boys. I think they are good return on demand. Ronaldo tries to Granby, but Tackett now settles into where he is usually best. Tackett can slow this pressure down, and this passing is really going to give him some good time to shine. So right now, he in round one still has 2 minutes and 20 seconds left to work here. I do see somebody who's calling for a back take in the comment section. Ilya ducking Tackett is very funny, by the way. I'm going to return to your point. It says, maybe you have a point. I know I have a point. That's why I say it, bro. It says, but at his best, he's great. He's very funny against Ja Rule. I'll give you that. But I think that's more like, hey, he's good at trolling. Similar to Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle, very funny. The best stand-up, Probably one of the better ones we have right now, unfortunately. But yeah. Uh-oh. Buggy choke here from Ronaldo Jr. underneath. He's struggling to find that flexibility at the age of 29, but it does hold Tackett in place. There's a minute 20. It is slowing down the output from Tackett, and that's going to be a submission attempt. Now, Tackett gets a crossface on him. That should dilute part of it because he can't quite find the ability to get the foot and connect it and triangle it. So instead, he's just clamping down on it. And Tackett's using it to enforce some pressure. And he has to let it go. Yeah, at that point, it's a little tough to pull off there. They said buggy choke looked like the rubber guard LMAO. It did. I was going to say that, but I was like, I don't think that's proper. But I am in agreement with you, random YouTube commentator person. Is Turan? I can't wait to see you fight this weekend, sir. Super stoked they got you on the card. What's up, Kid A Photo? What's up, Greek Albanian Pope Dionysus? What's up, Denny? Good to see you guys. All right, let's get back to the action here. No, it's another Ice commercial. Fuck you, Ice. God. This is really the bane of my existence. Okay. It says the cuddle too much. I think they mean they cuddle too much, but they're too stupid to be able to do that. 10-9 Ronaldo. I don't know how exactly to score this. That's a very good sentiment. That's tough. He has the attacks. Tackett had the positional control. So as much as they say it does matter on submission attempts, I think some favoritism magic may be used to finagle the definition of it. You could make a point that Tackett was positionally more dominant. He just didn't do as much with it. So we're in a trick. And good Lord, you got Andre Galvo and his assistant coach fanning down Ronaldo Jr. like he's a finished car at a car wash right now. I don't know. I'm kind of at a loss. I know how I think I want to score it, but I feel like the UFC judges might have scored that one a 10-9 Tackett. Just call it a hunch. If you're a franchise star, you sometimes maybe get a little extra special treatment. It says, whoever is in charge of commercial timing needs to be fired. And that's on the YouTube stream. I would agree with that. This has been atrocious, seeing all these ads out at once. And somebody asked, is this the main event? No, it is the co-main event. All right. This is where we'll get to see what some of that wrestling work and that relentless pace that we talk about with the Tackett boys comes into play. Having said that, I do think that was an exciting use of this format. Like, I think these were game competitors. Tackett goes for a single leg. Ronaldo trying to use that as a grip for a guillotine. Tackett pops his head back out, now working from inside of Ronaldo's guard. Yeah, let's go back to that other thing. So you have the submission attempt, which is like 1 1/2, really, from Ronaldo in that first round. But Tackett did have a takedown. So takedown and positional control. I can see how Dana White privilege might come into play here. I don't know. It depends on who's scoring it too. So we'll have to come back to that in a second. From Ronaldo. Oh boy. Ronaldo has a very aggressive guard here. And at a one point, while he was kind of doing that body triangle variation of it from where he's compressing and pulling him in. Like, it's an impressive thing to do, and Tackett's not easy to keep in that position. Tackett thought for a split second of trying to push some of his body back. It's not bueno. Here, if you are Tackett, who's looking to really probably needs to pass, but he did get the takedown. So yeah, it's tricky. But the referee, Vitor Shalin, says right back up at it. So that is exciting. I do like that. It's unfortunate for guard players, but you know, Ronaldo did get some time to work from that guard. Didn't really do too much. One might argue he was stalling in that position. Tackett wasn't necessarily able to get much going from there, so chicken egg situation there. And that is a little bit of gift over to Tackett, who's had some success throughout this match with his wrestling and his takedown, but that might have been said too soon because Ronaldo was able to get a little bit of a trip, looked to try and find something on the backside. Now Tackett's starting to work his guard, looking to go for a leg lock, and Ronaldo just lifting him up out of thin air. Tackett holding on for dear life onto that leg. He's got an underhook here. I don't think he's going to be able to finagle it. I think that Ronaldo's pretty stiff in that position, but man, really good guard retention here by Tackett. If you're Tackett, as tired as you may be, I think it is a essential element that you get up and start trying to pass guard, or that you wrestle back up. Ronaldo passes the guard, now gets the mount. This is going to be a Ronaldo round. And you can see Jerk Boy Casey in the comment section saying LFG Ronaldo. Tackett's really got his back up against the wall right now. So while I'm not necessarily concerned about, I was going to say about a submission, but even though it's short on time, no, I don't want another commercial, you dick. Skip. 20 seconds. Yeah, I don't think he's going to submit William with that little time in round 2. But that is definitely going to give him this round. So the real question is, do you have it 2-0 Ronaldo or 1-1 Tackett Ronaldo? Ooh, he's looking for an armbar. He's short on time. And, I think because he knew he was short on time, just adding another submission attempt is a strategic, smart thing to do. Man, okay. Well, what's up, Jiu-Jitsu memes? We do have a race ahead of us, guys, and I don't know what the scorecard looks like, but you do get the sense that Ronaldo has to be feeling pretty good about himself right now. Woo. Okay. Right now, Tackett's team kind of going over strategy with him. He does look pretty tired. Body language, a little rough here, if we're being honest, for Tackett, but he forges ahead and he'll make his way back out for round 3. Mouth pretty open. I mean, he's sucking wind, and that does not feel good. Hoist is definitely on his phone texting, so he's got better things to do at this moment. And I see Mert in the YouTube chat saying he needs a finish. I would agree with that. Michael Skywalker, what is up? Thank you so much for watching along. Appreciate you guys. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe wherever you are watching. Tackett now having to work from underneath guard. I think he might be spent. I think having to carry all of Ronaldo's weight really caught up with him here. Ronaldo now round 3 with plenty of time now. 4:30 left to go. He may be trying to angle from that mount position, bringing up the arm, signaling like he wants a head and arm. William just spent, man. I think that Ronaldo can potentially get this. I do see how depleted and exhausted William is. And it said, William sucks. Andrew took all the skill. That is a bravely stupid statement to make, by the way. It's brave because I would never be that proud of being that stupid. But leave it to YouTube comments. Good Lord. If you've ever rolled with William, you do know he is an incredible talent. You know that he plays like a major pro. He is one of the best, but right now he might be in danger of getting submitted here. The referee is right on top of it. And I wouldn't say most people could get a finish from just off the side and with a koala, but Ronaldo making a case for being able to finagle something. Oh, William did one bridge, can't move Ronaldo off of him. That is a lot of weight. I do get the sense that maybe Ronaldo cuts down pretty deeply because just that size he's putting on William seems to be taking it out of him. Goes over to side. William threw up the legs as an attempt maybe for a buggy from underneath. Now Ronaldo looking at potentially going Darce from this position. At the very least, maybe a necktie. It's gripping the legs. That is a Darce that he is trying to shoot there. I'm sorry, an anaconda at that point. Doesn't quite have it. Ronaldo going to switch the grips, but thinking twice about it, realizing he's in a good place against William right now. William short on time and so exhausted with 2:23 left to go in this match. Yeah, I mean, Ronaldo doesn't have to do much. I think he can cruise to a decision win here if he just stays on top of William right now. But he is angling for that head and arm. I think he wants to make a statement, but William seems to almost be giving him his back. And I'm wondering if William feels more confident about his back escapes or if he's just in dreamland. Now, Ronaldo holding on to that arm from the cross side. And just to mark where we are, there's 21,000 people currently watching all at once on the UFC BJJ live stream on the UFC channel. So I don't know how many people are watching on Fight Pass. I got the sense there were some people who were watching on the UFC page, but I think that stopped. I'm going to do a double check here. Yeah, not quite there. To his credit, here, inside a guard, he is very short on time, but Tackett, he's got two arms on it on the inside, and man, I think he's just that posture is pretty done, my friend. William clasping the arms together. I think he's a little nervous about Ronaldo and what he can do from inside that guard, but out of instinct, out of just desperation, William trying to pass here, putting something together. These are where those extra rounds when your brain and space go off. Ronaldo push kicks him off, and oh my goodness, just literally pummeling William Tackett. Like, I think, yeah, I don't like how William Tackett looks. I think he's just so exhausted. It's almost like he can't defend himself in that particular space. Out of instinct, tries to put up a bit of a fight. Ronaldo looking again for another necktie. Tackett in some trouble here, and they are short on time. Tackett grips underneath the leg to try and stall what could be the inevitableness of it. He gets out, and I think Ronaldo knows, even as he is crawling like kind of a caged animal let loose, that he has won this. And William Tackett off of his back, just exhausted. Ronaldo comes over to greet him, and just so spent. Good Lord. What a performance from Ronaldo. It's impressive, man. Anything can happen here. And we were saying a little bit earlier, you know, you guys, some of you, let's be specific. Hold on. Oh, good Lord. I'm seeing this. Tackett with a comeback. No, he needs a sub. Correct. Damn. Is Ronaldo really good, or is Tackett overrated? No, he's very good. Tackett is very good. I know that for sure. And it says he was 550 under. Well, let's talk about betting in jiu-jitsu. It's still kind of in its infancy. I think that was a little high. Just given the pedigree, size difference to me, even though they both came in at 185, I think whatever Ronaldo ballooned to, it did not look like it was 185. And I think William having to carry that was really rough. On top of the pressure he was putting on him, that was a lot of dude that William was like, hey, I can't do this right now. Hold on. You can't put up Brazilian flags like that. How dare you, sir? This dude acting like he just converted. He was like, what are we talking about? We've always been Brazilian here on this channel. What are you talking about? We are very proudly a pro Tackett podcast over the years. So we're happy to see them involved. I know this is a disappointing day for William, but an incredibly impressive performance by Ronaldo, and big props to him. A little high. Well, yeah, dude. I think that's what happens when you don't know exactly who the odds makers are in a sport that sometimes doesn't know all of these people. I did. How dare you, sir? All right. Let's see what it has to say in this interview. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm with your winner, Ronaldo Jr. See, I have to tell you guys this because if it picks it up, the UFC thinks this is their footage. So I literally have to read the closed captions here. Ronaldo starts by saying, I want to thank the UFC for giving me an opportunity to be here. For everyone that was cheering for me, I want to thank Claudia and Tessie for putting this together. Also this week was Claudia's birthday. Chill, bro. He's trying to suck up to the lady in charge, Professor Galvo. I want to thank my team over at Autos HQ. Every single day, I got super motivated. The effort they put out every day, and well, I know like family in Brazil right now watching, so that's important. For me, yeah, looking forward to defending this. Little I'm a person. I came from the bottom, etc., etc., and I work hard, and I was able to make history here today, you know. And let's see what else he says. I feel like I was born to do history, and this is history, part of my history. You know, history. Keep saying that, bro. Okay. From everyone who helped me, I'm pretty sure everyone is proud right now. It's not just for me, myself. It's for everyone who surrounds me. And William Tackett, thank you for the challenge, you know, for pushing me to become a better fighter. I trained so hard to fight against him because I know he's very, very tough, and I'm so happy. I mean, we're not done with the interview. It's still going. But I felt like that's the essence of all you need to know. If he says anything else of note here, I will dial it in. They're asking for strategy, which is good. He goes, I didn't go too hard in the beginning because the goal was to kind of amplify it up. Oh, there's a buggy choke right there. But I didn't have the flexibility to get there. It's not even the flexibility that William covered that well. It says, and that was just coming to the sense of urgency at the end round because he never gave up, looking for that submission. Absolutely. He really did turn it on in rounds 2 and 3. So there is that. You know, I never give up on my dreams. I never give up, you know. It's all fish. Don't know what that means. I think it means he's saying it'll happen in time. Don't give up. Blah, blah, blah. Sorry, I'm not saying that as an editorial comment. I am actually tired. But if it fits for both. All right. Inside that thing. What are we talking about here, people? I'm going to start moving on. I think Tackett will come back, but good for Ronaldo. Absolutely will. He's not done. And dude is only, what, 24? He's got time. And it says Andrew will win. I'm stamping that. Okay. Well, you were the one to say you didn't think both Tacketts were going to win. So I do have to get you that. It's a, oh, good Lord. The amount of ridiculous comments. Let's say what's up. What's up, the Pellicula, or the Peluca, sorry. Every time I read that name, I always want to say the Pellicula because of that. Money Mano, what's up? What's up, Isaac? Yo, you should have given me rounds today, but you were scared, obviously. And what's up, Os Nation? All right, folks, we are starting to get a little bit closer to the end here. I'm going to take a second to retweet this on the Twitter to let people know we're about to watch the finals. Andrew Tackett about to take place in the bowl. And the thing I don't love about this right now is I would have loved to have seen William come out. Maybe he still will. But I don't know if he's going to come out there given that last match. So we'll see. We will see what happens here. But my thanks to you all for joining in. We got one more match, and then, that's pretty much going to do it for us. We're pretty close to being done here. But let's see. There's a lot of people just typing J-Rod for whatever reason. Johnny Walker in attendance for UFC BJJ tonight. They're going in the crowd to like the 4 people you should know and might recognize. There it is. Freaking za. Mason Fowler will be defending his belt on February 12th. It is also a Thursday. He is defending the light heavyweight title. So here's what I like better. I like them not having a second person as a shadowy figure. At least they recognize, like, hey, if we need to figure out who he's going to fight, let's at least give ourselves some more time. Because that practice of not announcing who they're fighting is concerning. It does look like it's what they did with Andrew Tackett. They're like, Andrew Tackett's going to take on somebody. Show back up and we'll find out together. And I just thought, I know you're a new organization, but that just kind of seems tacky. You know what I'm saying? So, there that. Egg, you're asking me, so are you a brown belt or black belt? Bro, I'm like you. I'm a purple. Long-suffering purple. I have a long residency at purple. With no signs of it slowing down, by the way. Because I will tell you the one thing that really sucks about being a purple. Aside from the skipping and warm-ups and all that shit. The thing that really sucks about being purple is I can't coach a Jiu-Jitsu World League. And when I mean I can't coach, I mean I can't coach. So I like to do everything on the up and up, but they're like, you got to be a brown belt. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to not coach my guys. So I would like to do it on the up and up. But if you're being dumb, then I'm going to do what I need to do. You never asked before. That is true. You have not. I felt like I've said it plenty of times. Also, who filmed that talking ahead of Elijah? He is too dark on the lighting. Yeah, you need to have a key light on him. And the lighting for the training is a little bit better, but it is almost a choice to have him in the dark and then not properly light him on a 3-point. Look, it's so dark. There's like, you see one half of his face. Boo. Just makes me so mad. Little production things like that will eat at me. But yes, we are about to see another Tackett go to work, and I am intrigued how this shall play. If you guys are enjoying this, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe wherever you're watching. And it says, coaching seems super cool. It is. I will be honest, I'm probably a better coach than I am a competitor. So, yeah. It says that's a screen cap from the PGF1 preview. Eek. Boy. William Tackett, I expect to be the UFC BJJ champ for years to come. Let's go. Okay. Well, walkouts are about to happen right now for your main event here, people. I hope you were excited for this one. I will tell you this, though. I'm probably going to bail as soon as we're done here. Grayson, you just showed up again. And I feel bad because, Grayson, I did threaten you. And now I know new things, so I should not be threatening you. But when you do come back in a little bit of time, rounds on rounds, young man. So there is just that. Oh boy. Those are Lloyd Irvin comments. That is fair. What is the song he's walking out to? My apologies. I can't even pull it up right now. If you guys don't mind telling me, that'd be probably easier, I think. If you recognize what he's walking out to. But it seems like some people in the YouTube chat want to give him shit. It says, I think I could be a good MMA coach even though I've never fought. Yeah, here's what I would say about that. I tell our guys I am good at coaching grappling. So my job, whenever we have athletes who fight MMA and they come to roll with me, I never tell them things that I feel are trying to be more of their coach. I just recognize, like, hey, if you're coming here to work with me, I'll give you some advice that I think is helpful for your game. But the intention is always to hand you back to your other coaches and say, we touched up some of the grappling. They now have work in this area that we did together. Godspeed. And it says, I think I spent enough time training BJJ. And I think that says watching fights that I could be a coach. So think of it like this. A good fighter needs multiple coaches. And if you haven't fought, you could be one part of that pie. I just never sell like I'm the whole pie. I like to tell people I have a corner, a niche, and I'm happy to help them with that niche. But really, I will hand them back to their main coach or their MMA coach or whatever coach it is. I will hand them back to that coach and say, we worked on this. Godspeed. I hope it worked. And I think it's kind of worked for me. And we've had some success. We've had some people who've done pretty well. But yeah, I don't think it's cool to just... I don't know. I've heard from a lot of fighters who are like, hey, man, I would prefer my coaches fought before. But there's a whole other sensibility that seems to indicate it's the Danaher equation, which is if you're willing to put in the time for somebody, that sometimes is more important than being a full-time athlete yourself. Because really, the most selfless coaches are the people who can balance and who can kind of take themselves out of the equation and make you the most important thing. So that's a particular skill set, and not everybody has it. So I would definitely tell people it is possible, but a lot of fighters feel more comfortable if you fought there. And I've seen a number of really good fighters turn into some awesome coaches. So, you know, there's some exceptions to the rule, but understand the rules and it'll make sense. The next thing you said is, I watch MMA like 20 to 30 hours a week. I love the sport. Seems like I could probably do it. I mean, watching is a good way of recognizing patterns. You probably want to train a lot more in that, though. It says, makes sense. Most corners have 2 to 3 guys. Yeah. You can offer that notation. So sometimes I may observe something that I hand over to the other coaches for striking or how they set up their grappling with their MMA stuff. But I think it's really important when you start to have different corners that everybody kind of plays to the strength of what they do for the greater cause. And it says, knowing what needs to happen and being able to do it are 2 different things. Teaching, coaching, and competing are 3 different skill sets. That is true. That is very true. But it is part of the reason why you will likely see the best coaches are the ones who observe the most and who commit the time. So the practical application, though, is pretty important for a lot of them. Literally talk to a number of fighters. I have. They do feel more comfortable having somebody who's been through the shit with them. So one thing I do like to tell people is if you come train for me and you have a fight on your camp, I will pretty much be in the rounds with you and have really hard rounds with the intention of, I think the best way to lead is always by example. So sometimes it's like I'm in a camp with them for that slice of the pie while they go off and do the other 2 to 3 slices that I'm like, damn, dude, that's a hard life. It says, yeah, maybe I shouldn't be a coach. Maybe I just gave tidbits of advice. Absolutely. And there's very important folks. Like Egg, I think, is a good example of that. Like there are people who just know statistics, who can identify like, hey, man, this dude's been submitted 6 times by a guillotine. Maybe you do your research and see it twice, but having an acknowledgement and an understanding of what people are good at in every team really is an asset. So that is kind of my advice. It says, let's see what Dorsey is about. Yeah, I hope this is a good match, man. We like both these kids. So I think, they go hug. Oh, it's a fucking commercial. I don't want your goddamn boots. Get this fucking shit off my fucking phone. Thank you. All right. Off to the races. Elijah Dorsey circling around. Goes for a feint. Tackett gets a takedown. Ends up kind of in a front headlock for a split second, but now utilizes that space. Almost got to a pass, but settles inside of Dorsey's guard. Tackett does lift him up ever so slightly inside of the guard. I don't know if they can slam. I don't think they fully can here. I wonder if you could slam out of something. I got to go double check those rules. Too many rule sets. Oh, I like that grip from Dorsey. Trying to be very aggressive with that overhook. Dorsey now trying to pull down on the head of Tackett. Opens up the guard. Interesting. Dorsey's opened up an entry here for a leg. It's unconventional. Tackett maybe thinking he could go and attack. Dorsey's leg thinks better of it. Now Dorsey with the legs triangled to the outside. There is a slicer there. Ooh. Dorsey might actually have a heel hook here, but I think Tackett's doing a pretty good job of applying pressure. Dorsey doesn't have the heel hook as easily anymore, but he's got a firm grip on that leg. Now this is where both of them start to take their time a little bit more. I mean, I guess the other question is an upset in the air for both of the Tacketts tonight? Oh my goodness, Dorsey has a heel hook here. Tackett is in some real trouble. Tackett's now trying to rechamber and get a heel hook of his own. Dorsey might have just lost that. Now he does get the tap on Dorsey. Congratulations are in order for Andrew Tackett, who in danger is able to reverse Uno the position and get an attack back on Elijah Dorsey. I think that heel hook did happen in a way where it might have caused some injury there. But man, oh my God. Lots of cry laugh emojis. Andrew Tackett now looking like he's sucking wind here. I think Elijah might have some trouble getting up. Oh man, he's grimacing at that. I think he might be a little banged up. I think he's talking about how he can't put pressure on that. To his credit, though, Elijah really did try to go for a kill there. That is, oh no, don't Tackett. No, you can't do that, dude. He can't get up. That was a better choice to have him sit there. No, if he's walking okay, I don't know that that's a good thing. I think there is some torn something. I mean, from the get-go, Very fun interaction back and forth between the boys. I mean, Elijah really did try. That's tough as fuck. I think the hard part was in that transition and going for it, just the way that Tackett reversed back into that heel hook. I think he recognized that Dorsey didn't quite have a clamp on it. That left his leg very, very vulnerable. He read it right, goes back into it, arms out like a baby bird, waiting for the worm to be thrown into his mouth. And there it is, Tackett celebrating. About to get the official decision, and then we will get some of his words here. And, you know, something to note here, folks. The last time we saw Tackett promoted in a fight or a match for UFC BJJ, they said against somebody. So the real question here is, who are they going to have for him now? Because if it took them a while to find Elijah Dorsey, and that is somebody who is a good competitor for him, I think that was a good match. What are we doing here, fam? They're probably going to have to announce we don't have somebody else. All right, interview incoming right now. I think he just said good times. And I think there's some acknowledgement that Royce Gracie gave him the belt. His reaction to Royce, for sure. I feel like you've been dreaming of this moment since you were so young. He wants to thank God. Wouldn't be able to do it without him. So glory to God. Coming into this match, you had a rib injury. How were you able to push through? And it said you weren't rolling at all. And he says, I would just wanted it more. I've been working my whole life for this. Yeah, dude. Injuries to the rib are no joke. And he's like, I don't have a regular job, so I really can't lose. So you have to go full send. You got that heel hook. What about Elijah's game made you think he would be there? He didn't. He's like, I didn't. You know, I thought it was going to be more of a you take me down, an aggressive battle. I didn't expect leg locks at all. And I don't drill leg locks this camp. So the fact that this one went pretty commercial, boo fucking commercial. I swear to God sometimes. I think that was supposed to be a mic drop. Okay. I hit one, you know, it's pretty cool. You should be proud of yourself. You made it. Go for it. All right, I got a call out. All right, Michael Chandler, if you want it, let's go. I'll see you at the top. So Andrew Tackett, running out of opponents, decides to call out Michael Chandler, who really doesn't have anything else to do. I mean, yeah, he's got the real American freestyle wrestling. That's fine. I mean, I think this is better than that. Let's be honest. It's kind of a joking one, but if they make it happen, cool. I'm just saying here, people, an intriguing series of events. So let's review. UFC BJJ had some upsets. You had Elder Tackett, William Tackett, not getting it done in his match. Ronaldo Jr. ends up winning a title. Congratulations to him. Andrew Tackett defends his against a very game Elijah Dorsey, catching him with a heel hook, which was thrilling, very fun to watch. Just when you thought you couldn't get any better, it does. But also, you had Vern upsetting Raquel Canuto tonight, and that was big. A big, big moment there. Of course, wins from friends of the show, Landon Elmore, Andy Varela. That was super dope to see, especially from the PGF fam. So happy for the alums of our program continuing to do big things on that stage. I got to tell you, I was happy for this card. Some of it was good. Some of it was okay. It says Odie Osborne in the crowd, and it said good card. I mean, by and large, it was okay. And who is this other dude? John Cheffin or Screffin? I was trying to figure out who the hell was saying all that weird, dumb shit throughout the evening. Mikey versus Tackett. I don't think that makes sense in any rule set for weight. But if it's an open weight, could be entertaining. I think maybe Mikey still has the edge there. That's a wild one. I actually feel like Mikey versus Dorian, even though he's like outsized, is a terrible matchup, but at least it would give us a definitive winner one way or another. Dorian looked very impressive tonight. And it was one of the times where Dorian got pushed. And I feel like you can push Dorian. We saw Corbet do that at trials for the first half. But then after that first half, when that second half takes over, his impressive work happens. And it says, or too big of a weight difference. For sure, too big of a weight difference, dude. Anyways, well, friends, here's what we're going to do. We're going to call it a night for tonight. But I would love it. Like, comment, subscribe, wherever you're watching this. I hope you enjoyed this watch party, this fight companion, whatever you want to call it. It is very cool to check in with you guys. I know we don't do a ton of them anymore, but we are busy AF. I've been doing some interviews. I have another interview that I'm prepping for, I think even tomorrow night. So be on the lookout for those. You can find those at patreon.com/grappling hour. You can also find merch, Grappling Hour merch, over at rapsparza.com/merch. You can what else can you do? Like, comment, subscribe. That's a big one for us, like I mentioned. Or you can join our Discord at Grappling Hour. And tomorrow we will be back on the air at 1 p.m. Pacific time-ish, maybe 1:30. Myself and, of course, Tim Freeman are going to come back with some topics for the week. And we will see you then. But until then, my friends, it's been a great day for grappling.